Hello everybody and welcome back to My Journey, the series in which I take you along my path to gathering every Trackmania Track of the Day author medal. Starting us out in volume number 12 today, and for my 400th author medal, we have the track Skyfarer, which was made by Oso Guinea Pig, and it was the Track of the Day on March 15th of 2022. Skyfarer is a grass track and about 1,000 players have this author medal. It took me 25 minutes to get this one and I finished with a time of 49.835. I do think this is a good track overall, but I do remember when I played this one there was something about it that I didn't really like, and at this point unfortunately I do not remember what that was, so I'm gonna have to start writing those things down so that does not happen in the future. The track also has a problem with the water bounces. It's really not the track's fault, but the water update came later in the year, so the water bounces are going to be a little bit slower than what they were before, so the author is going to be a bit more challenging than the amount of players would suggest. My 401st author medal came on the track Nightfall, which was made by Swelter, and it was the track of the day on January 3rd of 2021. Nightfall is a dirt and tech track that about 1,900 players have the author medal on. This one took me 9 minutes to get, and I finished with a time of 41.093. I don't have a ton to say about this track in all honesty. There were a couple of annoying gearing locations, especially early on in the track, but other than that, it's fairly basic, fairly unremarkable, and it's just an okay track. My 402nd author medal came on the track Spectre, which was made by Toxilisk, and it was the track of the day on September 25th of 2020. For lack of a better category, I'm going to say this is a dirt and tech track, and about 1,000 players have this author medal. It took me 40 minutes to get this one, and I finished with a time of 40.807. This was a pretty frustrating track to drive. There is a sausage jump back onto sausage, and the angle of your car and the angle you land at is kind of just all over the place, and it's very easy to get a slowdown. And then later on in the track, there's a pretty big blind jump, which is extremely easy to crash there as well. So not the worst track in the world, but I can't say it was the most fun. My 403rd author medal came on the track Rollercoaster Beach, which was made by Teak and Teak, and it was the track of the day on April 27th of 2024. Rollercoaster Beach is a mixed track and about 1,700 players have this author medal. It took me 12 minutes to get this one, finishing with a time of 51.365. While this is probably my favorite track from today's video, it's not going to be my #1 recommendation for today's video. I certainly enjoyed it much more than the community did with my plus to their minus. Not sure exactly why the minus. Maybe the track was a little bit too difficult, way too many things to hit. I'm not too sure. I know the opening jump was a little bit, off. It could have been a little bit more calculated there. But other than that, I really enjoyed driving this track. My 404th author medal came on the track Swelter Skelter, which was made by Agribau, and it was the track of the day on August 8th of 2023. Swelter Skelter is a dirt track that about 600 players have the author medal on. This one took me quite a while to get, taking me 57 minutes, finishing with a 51.891. This one was a bit of a mixed bag for me. There were sections I did like, there were sections I didn't like. Like the first half of this one was good, and the last quarter of it was kind of the same exact way. But then in the middle of the track, you kind of just are suddenly thrown into this slower section with pretty sharp turns and a gear loss on the entrance. It just felt completely out of place, ruining the vibe of the track in all honesty. So it's a bit of an unfortunate spot. Not sure what they were going for there, but in my opinion, it did not work. My 405th author medal came on the track MultiBiomes, which was made by The Real Psych, and it was the track of the day on February 26th of 2021. MultiBiomes is a mixed track that about 2,000 players have the author medal on, so the easiest of today's video. It took me just 4 minutes to get this one, and I finished with a time of 38.944. This track is on the lower end of just being okay, and it's really just due to the dirt section we just passed. There's really no great way to get that cleanly, so you're kind of jumping into the dirt and out of the dirt, and your car is kind of just bouncing all over the place. It doesn't feel great. Other than that, the track is just okay. My 406th author medal came on the track Alkaline, which was made by Squeagle, and it was the track of the day on September 10th of 2023. Alkaline is a dirt and tech track that only about 500 players have the author medal on, so one of the tougher from today's video. It took me 33 minutes to get this one, and I finished with a time of 47.145. I thought this was a fairly good track, and it is my #1 recommendation from today's video. If you are going to play any of the tracks, I recommend playing this one. Rollercoaster Beach is still my favorite track from today's set, but I do think this one would be more enjoyed by a general audience. So if you do want to play this track or any other track from today's video, you can look in the description. There are download links to all of them. Otherwise, if you have club access, you can join my club called Club Teuty and play them all there. My 407th author medal came on the track Radioactive Ruinzzz, which was made by Relics, and it was the track of the day on April 30th of 2024. Radioactive Ruinzzz is a dirt track, and about 1,900 players have this author medal, so a pretty easy one here. It took me just 9 minutes to get this one, and I finished with a time of 44.298. For the most part, I thought this was a pretty good track up until you get towards the end of it, where you have to drive through a reactor boost, and when you do drive through that reactor boost, there's this massive camera shake, there's a massive blurring effect, and it is extremely disorienting. It's not really apparent in the replay, but trust me, when you drive this track and you drive through that section, it is very disorienting, and it's not very pleasant. My 408th author medal came on the track Casino, which was made by TM Lane, and it was the track of the day on August 23rd of 2021. Casino is a grass and tech track that about 1,300 players have the author medal on. It took me just 7 minutes to get this one, and I finished with a time of 45.918. I didn't particularly care for this track, as there are a lot of blind turns in this one. The track is pretty easy to learn, so I'll give it that. So the blind turns aren't a huge issue, but still could have done without them. There is also just one transition in this one that didn't feel all that smooth either. I did like the scenery on it, it was rather unique, but other than that, it was kind of just an okay track. And to end it off here, my 409th author medal came on the track Pasture, which was made by 9to5 Gamer, and it was the track of the day on June 27th of 2023. Pasture is an ice track that only about 500 players have the author medal on, and this is probably going to be the most difficult one from today's video. It took me 52 minutes to get, and I finished with a time of 42.725. I'm not sure if it was this track or maybe just because I have not played many ice tracks in general for the past few months, but all my brake taps on this one just seemed completely off. Sometimes they would do next to nothing, sometimes they would spin me super aggressively. It made me extremely annoyed with the track, and I didn't have all that much fun with it. Again, I don't know if this is this track or maybe I was just off, but I didn't really particularly enjoy it. But that will conclude volume number 12 here today. Again, if you're interested in driving any of the tracks you saw, there will be links in the description to all of them, or you can find a campaign in my club called Club Teuty if you want to play them there. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to like it and subscribe so you don't miss out on any in the future. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you all next Sunday with volume 13.